seem to be taking a turn for the worse with this latest spike down across all the cryptos, not just Shiba Inu, but this is an update specific to SHIB itself. We haven't done one in a little while, so I want to just kind of reiterate what we have going on over the past few weeks into now. And the setup looks very similar in the short-term picture as it did in most of the other altcoins. We got our 5 waves up as pictured here, 3 waves down. That's a very good showing right there at a 1-2, and we broke right up through our zone of resistance, and we're looking great. Looked like we had started our 3rd wave up, but last we have collapsed back down to earth, and we haven't quite made it down to that low that we hit on the 24th of February just yet, but things are looking a bit more murky. So technically, I would relabel this potentially as that being the top of the 5th wave, and this current pullback possibly being an actual wave 2. This is how I have this thing labeled in most of the other cryptocurrencies, most of the other altcoins. So really, that would be our top of the 5th wave. Gonna get rid of this little thing here, and potentially there's a chance that we are just finishing off a C wave in a larger correction for a wave 2. Where that would put the A wave is, well, that is up in the air. If I put it there, could be a C wave. We have something that looks a little bit like that across the equities. And well, we had a nice flare up since we hit our low on March 7th. And this looks corrective at best. So far, when we look at this latest structure, this could be 5 up and 3 down. It's a higher low, so that would be a positive sign, especially if we turn right back around. But there's a lot of momentum to the downside. You can see how the MACD is streaking downwards. So we're not out of the woods, but all hope is not lost. We would have to break down here all the way down to, what is that, 207, whatever that is. If we broke that, then very likely we'll have a lower low. However, things are not as straightforward in SHIB as in a lot of the other more established altcoins, the other cryptos. As I have reiterated on this channel, SHIB does seem to be marching to its own drumbeat. The patterns don't really resemble anything else we see in other altcoins. There is correlation, obviously. We've rallied, just like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the other altcoins, into the fall of last year, and we've pulled back in more or less lockstep. But if we go further back in time, well, we can't go too much further back in time because SHIB didn't exist. But overall, the sentiment patterns do align with the other cryptos. So as goes Bitcoin and Ethereum, as goes SHIB and all the other altcoins. And we've been seeing that everything's been coupled pretty closely. Now, what makes SHIB unique is that we pulled back into this purple box. It was a very satisfying pullback. It looked like a clean wave, wave 2, 3-wave structure, sufficiently deep. And then we bolted right off that, and it looked like we had a 3rd wave up, and we looked for 4th wave consolidation, and we're going to have that 5th wave go somewhere up here, but that did not happen. Instead, we start pulling back down to earth. So really, this looks like a corrective wave. I don't think you can argue that this is an impulse by any stretch of the imagination. If it is, this is a good 3-wave pullback. However, perhaps it's a leading diagonal, start to leading diagonal. Maybe you got a zigzag up, zigzag down. We're going to have a zigzag up. We're going to meander our way up into the box overhead. Right now, we're not seeing too much of a bullish setup because of this. Now, big picture, I did mention it looks a little bit better than it did in the short-term picture, and SHIB does look a bit better than a lot of the other cryptos. This could be a 1-2. Who knows what this is? Again, it's better identified as an ABC. It actually looks more like an ABC here. When you look further out, actually looks like a fractal copy of what we have here. ABC up, ABC up. Not quite. Actually, the C wave is a bit less exaggerated, but at any rate, pulling back down, it doesn't look particularly corrective. That's what gives me a bit of a concern that we may go a bit lower. A little bit of choppiness, but it's, you're not seeing those sharp switchbacks that you would expect in a corrective wave, like a B wave or a wave 2 or anything like that. Provided that we have our overall setup holding, we do have a lot of cushion because we hit way down here on was that February, I'm sorry, end of January. That's when we hit our low in SHIB. That's where, again, it behaved a bit differently from a lot of the other altcoins. That is, I believe, also where we hit our lows for Bitcoin and Ethereum, although most altcoins had their lower lows a month after that. That was around, what was that, 171, 172. So we got some space before we fall there. Can we fall down there? Sure. My original red pattern was actually showing that we're going to go a bit lower, all the way to the 2.0 extension of what I was calling the first wave of this C wave. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do often see a spike down that is just terrifying. that is the nature of an ending diagonal. It just extinguishes all the bullish sentiment before a violent reversal. How will this look in SHIB based on its history? No idea, because we don't have much history. So this is probably the first such structure in this cryptocurrency, but it seems to be following the rules overall in the big picture. This impulse is still very much alive, and we got plenty of room below that we could fall quite a bit without validating this setup. If we do manage to bounce either after a big spike down, or we don't have too much lower to go, either way, this green box is still valid. We haven't really changed anything in the big picture structure. We could get all up to, what is that, 523, all the way up to 1006, whatever those numbers mean to you. It's a good ways up from here. As a matter of fact, that would put us about, let's see here, that would be, let's move this thing down here. That could be, was that more than a 2x return, as far up as maybe a 4x return, just on the first wave alone. And our potential bigger picture is quite insane. I need to move these things over because I haven't been focusing on this as much with the latest developments in cryptos. But this was actually has some of the highest potential gains, especially in the short term, on my crypto risk reward score. So feel free to check those out. Might help you allocate. But I do consider this a high risk, high return crypto because of the short history. And well, that's all you got to know. Whether it's a meme coin or not, it has a good structural setup, but because of the lack of the history, and you can't really tell what the structures look like before this. So that is where the risk comes from. Going to keep an eye on this thing. I do still hold my SHIB. I do not plan to sell because I am mentally ready to hodl. I don't see any reason why we would break the overall bullish setup. And that applies to pretty much every crypto. I know I've been picking on EOS quite a bit because it came so close to validating its upside setup, but even that one, I don't see us having enough bear fuel, enough gravitational pull to pull us back down there. So we're going to see what goes on. I think we're getting closer to an inflection point than we are to a top. So don't forget to subscribe, that way we don't miss any updates, and don't forget to check out my community posts. I can get those posted much quicker than I can a video. Until next time, thank you for watching and happy trading.